everyone, and welcome to today's practice. I hope that you are doing well and you have been taking care of yourself in this time. We'll be coming through our practice. We'll get started just sitting on our mat here. So just get yourself really nice and comfortable, and we'll start to drop in. So firstly, just finding this really comfortable seat, letting your spine lengthen and letting the shoulders relax. Maybe closing your eyes down just to settle into this space. And starting to notice your breath as you sit here on your mat. Not trying to manipulate the breath in any way at this point, but just noticing its rhythm as it moves in through the nostrils, all the way down into the lungs, filling the lungs up, maybe feeling an expansion in the belly as well as you breathe. And then feeling that release and that relief, that sort of softening each time you breathe out. Shoulders soften down. Everything sort of pulls back towards the core. So taking as much time as you need just to drop in here to your breath and start to notice its rhythm. Then once you've noticed that rhythm of your breath, and started to come into your body, come into this moment in your practice on your mat, we can start to really deepen that breath. Pulling the breath all the way down into the base of the lungs and filling them up completely. And exhaling out long and slow and evenly. 5 of these deep breaths in. 5 deep breaths out. Just one more, all the way down, and all the way out, releasing. Letting yourself be nice and soft through the shoulders. And starting to flutter those eyes open, just gazing right in front of you. Let's just roll the shoulders a few times, all the way up towards the ears and all the way back behind us. Again, all the way up towards the ears, all the way behind us. Just a few more times. And taking them in the opposite direction, all the way up towards the ears and then down and forward. Big rolls of those shoulders. One more. And all the way down. Well done. Now, before we get moving into some flows and standing postures, let's come with the soles of the feet together, drawing those knees out nice and wide, finding a Baddha Konasana or bound ankle pose. Taking a hold of the ankles here, or the feet, like an open book. And just letting those knees drop down towards the mat on either side of the body, just as much as it feels good and as much as gravity is pulling those knees down, not forcing them further down, letting them be lifted if they're lifted, that's completely fine. I'm just starting to draw that belly button forward, opening through the chest and rolling the shoulders down. Drop that chin down towards the chest to lengthen through the back of the neck. And from here, we can stay here nice and long and lifted through the spine, or if you want a little bit more, we can find a forward fold, walking the hands forward and coming maybe down onto the forearms, then lowering the forehead down towards the mat or towards the feet. Just staying for a few breaths here in this forward fold, noticing all of the sensations in maybe the hips and the groin, noticing anything else that is coming up for you in terms of sensations in the body, and not forcing yourself deeper as your body will just tense back up again, letting yourself really soften down into the stretch. Just one more deep breath in. And one more deep breath out. And starting to rise all the way back up. Taking those hands back onto the mat, drawing the knees together. And let's take those feet over to one side and take the hands down onto the mat. We'll find our tabletop pose and move into our downward facing dog. So maybe just giving yourself a little wriggle from side to side through the hips and the shoulders, taking as long as you need to really round out, find extension, whatever feels good. Then when you do feel ready, let's come all the way into our downward facing dog, pressing those hips high. Tilt the sit bones up towards the ceiling here as you press through all 10 fingers and soften the heels down towards the mat. Maybe just taking a few breaths to pedal out through the feet. Finding those heels softening down towards the mat one at a time. And letting the ears come in line with the biceps, just relaxing the neck. Taking a few breaths. Very good. Just one more deep breath in, pedaling out through the feet. And then as you breathe out, softening both heels down. Let's start to warm up a little through the core and the spine. Let's lower those knees down just to hover above the mat. It's coming almost to a tabletop, but not quite. Then as you exhale, press the hips back and press the chest back towards the legs. Again, lower those knees down just to hover above the mat. Good. Exhale, press back. Downward facing dog. One more time, lowering the knees down, finding that almost tabletop, switch the core on. Then exhale, lift those hips high, press the chest back. Just adjusting anything at all in your stance in your downward facing dog. Then we'll start to move through some sun salutations. Let's take a deep breath in, right leg lifts high, find that three-legged down dog. As you exhale, right knee pulls into the chest. Step the foot between the palms. We've found a runner's lunge. Sink the hips down, roll the shoulders back, and take a deep breath in here. Exhale to step the left foot forward to meet the right. Finding your forward fold, Uttanasana at the top of your mat. Take a deep breath in to lift halfway. Exhale to lower down. All the way up as we breathe in, circle sweep your arms. Exhale, let's fold all the way down. Lifting halfway, but also lifting the heels, coming into a little toe stand, so palms come into the heart center. Good. As you exhale, find your forward fold. Now, if that was a little tricky, feel free to find halfway lift when we come through that variation to toe stand. So we've found our forward fold. We're going to plant the hands down and step the right foot back. So finding that runner's lunge on the other side. Making sure our ankle is under the front knee. Deep breath in, open the chest. Then planting the hands down here, step the left foot back. Lower the knees down and let's move through our chaturanga. Exhale, elbows bend straight back. Inhale to pull the chest forward, lifting. Exhale to lower down. Tuck the toes, press into the palms, and then find your downward facing dog, taking as long as you need. Let's do that again, deep breath in. Left leg lifts high this time, finding your three-legged down dog. Exhale, left knee pulls into the chest. Step the foot between your palms, finding that runner's lunge or low lunge. Taking a deep breath in here as you reach the weight into that left foot. Exhale, step the right foot forward to meet the left, lower down, find your forward fold. Halfway lift as we breathe in. Exhale to fold. All the way up, Urdhva Hastasana, circle sweeping the arms. Exhale, folding all the way down, palms coming through center. Inhale to halfway lift or coming up onto the toes, lifting the spine up straight. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step that left foot back. We find our little runner's lunge and plant the hands down as you exhale and step the right foot back to meet the left. Again, lowering the knees down here. And let's lower the torso down. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale to lower down. Pressing back when you're ready. Find your downward facing dog. Well done. One more time on each side. Let's lift as we inhale, right leg reaches high. Exhale, knee draws into the chest. Step the foot between the palms and stay here for a deep breath in. Exhale, left foot steps forward to meet the right. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Halfway lift as we breathe in. Exhale, fold. All the way up. Urdhva Hastasana as you breathe in. All the way down, Uttanasana as you breathe out. Finding that toe stand, bending the knees deeply, dropping the hips down to the heels and lifting the spine up straight. Exhale, let's fold. Step the right foot back. Finding our runner's lunge. Open the chest here. Exhale to plant the hands down and step the left foot back to meet the right. Come through your chaturanga, maybe this time leaving the knees lifted and coming through a full chaturanga, only if it feels good. Exhale, pressing back, finding your downward facing dog again here. We've got one more round. Left leg lifts high as we breathe in. Exhale, knee into the chest. Step the foot between the palms. Lift. Deep breath in as you roll the shoulders back. Deep breath out as you step the right foot forward to meet the left. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Breathe in. Fold. Breathing out. All the way up. All the way down. Breathing out. Hands come through center. Good job. Toe stand to a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Stepping the left foot back when you're ready. Find that runner's lunge. Exhale to plant the hands down and step the right foot back to meet the left. Come through your chaturanga, whatever that looks like for you today. And then find your downward facing dog. Tilting the sit bones high and pressing the chest back towards the legs. Now from here, let's just take a little moment. either maybe lowering the knees down and taking a little child's pose, or if you want more from where you are, taking those 3 little lowers down to almost tabletop. Just 3 rounds of breath, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, to move deeper or to have a little break. Just 1 more round of breath. Finding that downward facing dog when you're ready. So as we meet in downward facing dog, we'll start to flow into a little flow. So let's take a deep breath in. Right leg lifts high, hips stay squared towards the mat. As you exhale, knee pulls into the chest. Step the foot between the palms, and we find a low crescent lunge. So untuck the back toes if that feels good, lowering the back knee down, and lift the chest, reaching the fingertips up overhead. Making sure that your front knee isn't overshooting the toes, and maybe finding a slight back bend if it feels good here, lengthening through the vertebrae rather than creating compression in the lower back. So think about lengthening up and pressing the heart space forward and up towards the ceiling. Good. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. 1 more deep breath in. Deep breath out, hands lower down. Tuck the back toes under. Let's start to press through that left hand and reach up through the right arm. Now you can stay here down on that left knee or start to lift the left leg up. Lighting up the back leg and twisting the chest even further towards that right knee. Deep breath in here. Deep breath out. 1 more deep breath in. Deep breath out, releasing that right hand down. From here, we drop that back knee down once more. And start to pull the hips all the way back towards that left heel, straightening through our front leg, our right leg. We lower the chest down over our right leg and start to press the toes up towards the face or pull them back towards the face. We're pressing forward through the heel, finding length through the back of the leg, and letting our torso just fold softly over that right leg. Hips stay nice and even. Taking 3 deep breaths. One more deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. Slowly start to bend through that right knee, moving the weight forward, the hips forward, coming back into our little runner's lunge. We can lift that back knee, tucking the back toes under, and start to step forward. Find forward fold at the top of your mat. Just release the chest down here and let yourself fold here. Taking a few breaths, just letting the shoulders hang down towards the ears, letting the spine lengthen, letting the face relax, the neck relax, maybe taking each elbow in opposite hands or hugging the legs in towards the chest. Giving yourself 2 more deep breaths in and 2 more deep breaths out here. And starting to lower those hands back down to the mat. Let's take a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. All the way up as we breathe in, circle sweep your arms. Bring the palms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, let's fold all the way down. Halfway lift or a little toe stand as you breathe in. Straightening the spine. Exhale to fold, find that forward fold, hands come down to the mat, hips lift high. Planting the hands down here, let's step both feet back. You can maybe walk, step, or float the feet back if you like. And then come through your chaturanga, lowering the knees down if you need to, or coming through a full chaturanga. Deep breath in to lift, baby cobra or up dog. Deep breath out to tuck those toes and find your downward facing dog. So a few breaths here in our downward facing dog. Maybe pedaling out through the feet. Maybe you take a quick child's pose to release. Or maybe you once more lower the knees down towards the mat and then lift the hips high. Lowering the knees down towards the mat and then lifting the hips high. Just one more round of breath. Beautiful. Find your downward facing dog. Let's meet here and start to move through that flow on the other side. Left leg starts to reach high. Find your three-legged down dog. Exhale, knee pulls into the chest. Step the foot between the palms and find that low crescent lunge. So lower the back knee down, untuck the toes if it feels good. And start to sweep the arms all the way overhead. Coming into that slight back bend if it feels good. So chest and hips are squared towards the front of the mat. And again, we're creating length through the spine and space between the vertebrae rather than compressing the lower back to press the chest back and find that back bend. One more deep breath in here. Lift those fingertips high. And exhale, hands lower down. And let's press that right hand into the mat, tucking the toes under. We start to lift through that left hand. Finding that twist towards our left knee. And if you like, we can tuck the back toes under if they're not already tucked and lift the back knee to really engage through that right leg and twist a little further towards the left knee. We can gaze up towards our left fingertips or down towards our foot. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. Very good. Be good if my headset could stay on. Deep breath in, one more time. Lift those fingers high. Then exhale, lower the left hand down. And let's lower that right knee down. Pull the hips back and straighten through our front leg. Finding that really nice hamstring stretch and that forward fold. Forehead just lowers down towards the shin. And just let yourself breathe here. Maybe you just leave this foot as it is, or maybe you start to press through the heel and pull back through the toes. One more deep breath in. And deep breath out. Start to bend through that front knee, move the hips forward, tucking the back toes under and lifting the knee. And then let's step forward, finding our forward fold Uttanasana at the top of the mat. Release the chest down here, forward fold. Again, either taking each opposite elbow in each opposite hand, or maybe hugging the legs in towards the chest, whatever feels nurturing and nourishing to you right now as you fold here at the top of your mat. Letting those shoulders be heavy. Maybe you even take the peace fingers between around the big toes and start to bend the elbows to pull the chest further down towards the legs. And let yourself explore and just release. breath in. And one more deep breath out. Find your halfway lift as you breathe in, pressing the fingertips into the shins or the thighs, then exhale, fold. All the way up as we breathe in. Find Urdhva Hastasana, bringing the palms together overhead. Exhale, fold all the way down. Good. Halfway lift or that little toe stand as you breathe in, coming up onto the toes, reaching the spine long and bending deeply through the knees. Exhale as we come back to our forward fold, planting the hands down and walking, stepping or floating the feet back, finding our plank pose, moving through our chaturanga or pressing straight back to downward facing dog, whatever you feel like you need today. So once you've moved through that chaturanga or you've found your downward facing dog, let's just take a deep breath in here, tilting the sit bones nice and high. Then as you breathe out, let's lower the knees down and find a puppy pose. So walking the hands out even further out in front and lowering the heart space down towards the mat. So like a playful puppy, reaching your hips in the air and lowering your forehead down towards the ground. Just letting yourself find a little extension through the spine, a little stretch down through the armpits, and just noticing if it feels like a little bit too much, and if so, taking it all the way back to an extended child's pose. That's absolutely fine too. Whatever feels right for you here, please feel free to just come into that pose instead. So we'll just be here for 3 deep breaths in and 3 deep breaths out. In your puppy pose or your extended child's pose, and start to take the palms down to the mat and walk the hands forward, coming all the way up to sit on the hips. So let's shuffle those hips over to one side, swing the legs out in front. And before we move down into our Shavasana, we're going to find a little boat pose. So coming to sit on your bottom and draw the soles of the feet onto the mat, we're just going to lean back slightly and come up onto the toes. So once we've found this position, we can reach the arms out in front and start to lean a little further back if you like. Maybe we stay here, or maybe we start to lift one foot at a time, slowly lifting and then lowering, reaching those arms out in front. If that feels good there, maybe you lift both feet up parallel with the knees, parallel to the mat, and hold here. If that feels good, maybe you extend the legs up towards the ceiling. We're just here for 3 more breaths. One more. Good job. Now from here we start to lower down, whether the knees are bent and the feet are on the ground or the legs are long. We start to lower down, reaching the legs out further out in front, the spine further down towards the mat, and lower yourself all the way down until you can't hold on anymore. Then let yourself go, lying on your back. And just let your hips move from side to side, wriggling out. Let's slowly draw those knees in towards the chest. And just make circles with the knees. Noticing how the body is feeling now as we come towards our Shavasana. letting yourself really start to relax deeply. Let's open those arms out wide and drop the knees down to the right. Maybe turning the chin to the left if it feels comfortable for your neck. Then slowly draw those knees back to center and drop them over to the other side. The chin turns again away from the knees if it's comfortable for the neck, and only if it's comfortable for the neck. And slowly knees come back to center. And let yourself find your Shavasana, whatever that looks like, whether that is lying down with the arms and legs out long, whether that is finding that Supta Baddha Konasana with the knees out wide, whatever that looks like to you, really letting yourself just come into that space, come into that Shavasana. Letting everything soften down completely. And when you find that position that feels really good for your body, just letting yourself come back into this space of awareness of your breath. Noticing that natural rhythm of your breath. Noticing how it feels as it pulls in through the nostrils. Noticing it move down into the lungs. And notice how it feels as it moves back out through the nostrils. Starting to bring that awareness into your entire body, noticing how each part of the body is feeling as we come to the end of our movement practice and into this stillness. Noticing where you feel good. Noticing where feels a little tight still. Maybe you're still holding tension somewhere in the body. And if you are, if you can find that tension, if you can notice that tension, perhaps allowing yourself to release a little bit more of that tension each time you breathe out. Each exhalation being an opportunity for you to let go of any stress that you're holding in the body or in the mind. And for the next few minutes, just really allowing yourself to release any of that tension, any tension at all that you can feel. And allowing yourself to just find this stillness and this silence and really enjoy it, really stay present with this part of the practice. This is often the part of the practice that we ignore or that is the first to go out the window if we don't have time. So in today's class, I really want you to spend a little extra time and a little extra effort in just being here in your Shavasana. So let your whole body relax and let yourself enjoy this time for you. ever so slowly and ever so gently re-entering the room that you're in and coming back to your body. Noticing how you spent your Shavasana, what that looked like. Did your mind get pulled back to the future or the past or whatever worries or concerns or commitments that you have in one of those places, in one of those areas? Or were you able to focus on a creative imagination? Were you able to focus on your breath in the moment, in your body? What did it look like for you? And just allowing yourself to fully let go of any judgment that you might hold if you did find yourself pulled back to chores and things to do and work to do and the news and all of the horrible things happening in the world and all of the stress. Letting yourself be human, letting yourself be just honest with yourself and forgiving of yourself for being human and for having a very overactive mind if you do. And just checking in with how your Shavasana was today. Mainly just congratulating yourself in making your Shavasana your priority and staying for the Shavasana. Then when you're ready, you can start to just gently wriggle your fingers and your toes. Becoming now more aware of how you are feeling in your body and where you are in the room that you're in. Noticing the sensation of the floor against your spine. Noticing if the air feels cool on your skin. And starting to move through those wrists and those ankles ever so slowly. When you feel ready, perhaps just reaching the arms overhead and taking a big stretch. Just like you're waking up in the morning. Reach your legs down long to the top of your mat and wriggle the hips and the shoulders from side to side. If you feel like taking a few stretches here as you lie down, please feel free. Hugging the knees into the chest. Dropping them from side to side. Maybe just lifting the feet up towards the ceiling. Whatever you feel called to do. Then gently, when you feel ready, just coming over onto one side. Laying on your side for as long as you need to before coming up to a comfortable seat. Letting yourself take as long as you need to come out of your Shavasana and out of your practice. When you find that comfortable seat, let's close the eyes down, bring the palms together at the heart space and just tap into our breath. With everything that is going on at the moment in the world, wherever you are living at the moment, I am sure you're feeling some effects of this pandemic. There's probably a lot of stress around you in your life or in the lives of the people around you. So having this time for ourselves to practice, to check in with ourselves, to check in with our body, to move, to breathe. We are so, so lucky. And I hope that you can really recognize this privilege and feel really grateful for having a practice to come into every day or every other day to help you to feel really aligned and help you to feel better in your body, better in your mind, and more able to hopefully be there for others and be a little bit more supportive, because you have been here supporting yourself. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this practice, and I'll see you again soon. Namaste.